afternoon, all of you. Welcome to this webinar session on Saturday, which every Saturday we organize on behalf of Parallel University and Faculty of Management Studies. It's our pleasure and privilege to have Ms. Sejal Singh, who is a functional lead at Cognizant. Thank you, ma'am, so much for accepting our invitation and sharing your availability and information on SAP. Let me introduce Ms. Sejal Singh to all the participants out there. Ma'am is currently working with Cognizant Technologies as a functional lead with over 13 years of experience in the industry. She is SAP certified application associated with SAP S4 HANA 1909-1809. Ma'am has got number of other certifications into SAP. During her project, she has worked in major industrial solutions in ERP packages in industries like telecom, pharma, retail, food and beverages, environment services, etc. Madam is also a corporate trainer for SAP Finance and integration of finance with different modules and delivered many training sessions within different organizations like IntelliGroup, IBM, Cognizant, etc. She is also a part of recruitment panel for Cognizant since last 6 years. Ma'am, on behalf of Parallel University and Faculty of Management Studies, I would like to welcome you and I would just let you know that our Dean, Dr. Vijay Zaveri, she is little occupied with her meeting, so she's not available. So, thank you once again, and I would like to hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much for a lovely introduction. And I'll start my presentation now. So just confirm me once you are able to see my screen so that...
Yes, ma'am. It's visible clearly.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to introduce what is SAP. So in professional terms, we do not call it as a SAP because it's a very incorrect term. So start with it. It's an SAP. Now many has a questions like what is SAP? What is SAP? Because we don't know. So to start with it, let's go to its introduction. SAP is a market leader in providing ERP. What is ERP? It's an enterprise resource and planning solutions and services. In this webinar, we will try to understand more on ERP and where it should be used. In addition, we'll learn the implementation techniques of ERP along with the ERP packages available in the market. So it's not only SAP which is available in the market. And it was not like before SAP was introduced in the market, there was no ERP. So ERP was born long back, and it was majorly used. I don't know, some issue. I'm not able to make it a full screen. So hope it is fine.
Yes, Sridhar, it's fine. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
it's readable.
Yeah, fine. So it's frequently used in the industries. Now the question comes, which kind of industry? So I would proudly say each and every kind of industry, whether it's a pharma, it's a telecom, it's a medical related industry, whatever, where the business is done, ERP is used and can be used. The purpose why ERP is used by the industry. Now what ERP exactly does, so we can understand very well through this chart. It foremost an important thing, it does planning and execution. Now what planning and what execution? So it does planning in distribution, marketing, finance, sales, human resource, engineering, material, manufacturing. This we can see in the screen. But what actually this department does, this is the broader meaning of the department. We know that in any industry, when we talk of an industry or a company, what it does, it procures, it sells. Basic, both the functions. Either it's manufacturing, and if it's a manufacturing, it has to supply, and if it has to supply, there is a sales. Now, whenever you talk of any sales, any material, any engineering, any marketing, any sales, what is the foremost important and what is the backbone? It's the finance. Now you need finance in each and every point of activity in your industry. And to make this planning very well and very well execution, you need a very good ERP package which makes your daily job easy. Now let's see which are the basic and whatever you can say is the common ERP packages you may know. First is Oracle. Each and every one of us know what is Oracle. But Oracle is not just a language. It's also a very big competitor of SAP, as well as Oracle itself is it's having the ERP cloud package. Automatica Cloud, Bits Automation, SAP S4 HANA. Now this S4 HANA, what is S4 HANA and what is SAP? That I'll be considering in the next slide. Oracle NetSuite ERP. So again, if you talk about any ERP, there are suites which are there in the market, the different modules which are there into market. And again, all these things need, if we talk now, these days we are all going into technology. So we all know that we need a server. We need a cloud database. Things are getting saved in the cloud. And why we need the cloud? And if the things are going on the cloud, what is the backend mechanism that works? So this is all a combined package which combinedly makes an ERP package effective. Okay. So there are popular accounting packages as well. There's Saga 300, Microsoft Dynamics NAV. Then it's SAP Business One, Epicon 9, Microsoft Dynamics GP, Microgola ES, Saga 100, and NetSuite. Okay. So now let's come to SAP, for which we are here today. So SAP is the world leader in enterprise application in terms of software and software related services revenue. Based on the market capitalization, it is the world's third largest independent software manufacturer supporting all sizes of industries, helping them to operate profitably, grow sustainability, and stay ahead of competition in the market. It is the third largest independent software manufacturer. So again, SAP is in a software. Okay, so that software works. Now, how this software works? Why we need this SAP as an ERP? So that explanation we'll see. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Now, if we are saying SAP, but it's not an SAP. It's the full form is System Applications Product in Data Processing. So this whole meaning of which is an SAP and how it will be used. Let's see. So SAP is neatly integrated business software to process all functionalities of an organization in order to obtain an unified solutions ERP software. SAP is a leader, as I mentioned earlier also. SAP is one of the leader when it comes to easy integration. Right? We saw this slide where we see that we need planning and execution. So how this happens? It can only happen if the things are integrated in a well proper planned manner. So again, I say it's a very important that the things are integrated in a planned proper manner. Okay. Among all the departments, if my sales department is going somewhere else, my materials department is going somewhere else, my finance is going somewhere else, then it's very difficult to have all my accountings to be matched properly. My month-end closings will go somewhere else, and my financial of my company will be just ruined like this kind of reporting. So what is most important is the easy integration. All this needs to be integrated together for effective functioning. This is done by specific software known as ERP, which we already discussed. Use of this package makes it possible to track, manage, and in real time sales productions. Now, in real time, what does it means? Okay. Now, earlier you must be aware, like aware in old times when you have to book a sales order, you'll get an order. In somewhere in the books you mention like this is the order what is received. In some other department, then you have to inform your warehouse whether to check the quantities are available or not. Whether that needs to be, if not, then you need to procure or you need to produce. If then we have to again contact to different department. And this paper work used to take a lot of time, as well as there was a lot of mismatch of data, and that's the main reason of why the frauds happen in industries. And that was one of the reason why companies always was in a financial crunch. So now, because the management don't know what is the real condition, so this packages help them to have all the data in real time between sales, production, financial accounting, human resource, everything. Okay. So now these are the major modules. It's not the only modules. SAP is vast and it has n number of modules. You think an SAP has the solution. So it's that kind of big. So it's not possible for any person to completely and thoroughly know SAP, but we can try to get into the insight of the modules. Okay. So it has financial accounting, which is a very most important and the only application wherein all the department data is flowing to this module. Financial supply chain management, which is FSCM. Then it's a controlling, which is CO. Materials management, sales and distribution, logistic, production planning, quantity management, plant maintenance, project systems, and HR. Now these are the very broad kind of thing what I will say, because finance itself is a very big module wherein you have GL, accounts receivable, accounts payable, general accounting, asset accounting. Again, you have many concepts of when you are working, your industry is working across the globe. So again, you have latest concept wherein you have to follow Indian regulations of each and every countries. You have to prepare reporting according to each and every countries and companies act or legal requirement. Okay, so this is what it has. So again, financial accounting will be having its own branches. Controlling again will be having its own branches. FSCM again, it has own branches. So these are the very broad means I can say broad boxes of module. So here I can just briefly explain what does SAP does. It has industry verticals, it has solutions, it has offerings, technicality, and functionality. Functional. So when you divide in a broader terms, SAP is divided into two major routes, I can say. It's one is technical and one is functional. Now, why there is a need for a technical and a functional? As I mentioned, we can see the departments, what is happening. They are going into system. They are going and just playing the keyboards and getting all the things. But to make that all available on your fingertips, it needs some developments, which will make your industry solutions easier. So for that, you need ABAP, which ABAP is the main module of technical SAP. Then you need J2E, .NET, EDI, BAPI, ALE, iDocs. Now, these are things you need because you are not sure whether your suppliers or your customers are also using SAP. So there are different systems what they may be using. And you need a system to integrate with their system. You need a system to integrate with your banks. You need a system which can communicate on a daily basis to your third-party vendors. So for that, what SAP does is they communicate or they develop a link between them, and through iDocs, you make it possible to communicate with other systems apart from SAP. There is SQA, data integration, business objects, Cognos, Crystal reports, automation. There are a lot of things which is nowadays automation. So now how automation works in an ERP or in a business world. So automation, we talk of automated report aa jati hai, but kaise aati hai? So you need to pull data from all of your modules, all of the departments which are there in your working in an industry. So again, the industry you have automotive and manufacturing, insurance, retail, media and publishing, higher education and research. So each and every field solutions are already defined by an SAP. Only thing you need to do is understand your business processes, understand your client requirement, and just customize the process as per the requirement. In a very easy word, I can say, ek sari mil gaya apne ko, and we have a blouse piece. So blouse piece can be customized as per our requirement. Sari wahi hai. So this is a very common examples what girls used to take this day, or even boys enjoy taking this kind of examples, but it's a very simple thing. Now solutions. So it has a very ready-made solutions. It has ERP solution packages, which comes with the upgraded functionality each and every year. So ECC 6.0, then we had ECC 7.0, then we had ECC 8. And now ECC is going to migrate on SAP S4 HANA. I'll come to that later. It has offerings of consulting, implementation and rollouts, maintenance, support, customizations, upgrade, integration, and testing. Now, these are offerings in a way that when you say you have an industry and you what industry want, if it already have an SAP, well and good. If not, then what you will do? So you will implement SAP as a package. So that package will be not implemented. If I give an example like Reliance. So there are Reliance group of industries which is working in India as well as in lot many countries. So you'll not go and take up implementation of all the companies of Reliance. So what you'll do, you'll take one company or one country as an example. You implement all the functionalities, your business suits, your business processes, your reportings and everything. Once it is working fine, then what you do is you make a templates out of that. You make a blueprints. There are stages how you follow in SAP. So there is a functionality like agile, waterfall. So these are the techniques, few techniques what you accept while doing that, and you implement. Once that is successfully go live, and when the business is okay with the things, okay with the solutions what you have given as a consultant, then it will be rolling out the same solutions to rest of the countries. Again, you have maintenance and support, which is when you have already implemented all the solutions, you need maintenance and support from a technical team and from a functional experts, which vendors like Cognizant, IBM, and all these companies which are IT consulting companies give them. Customization we do as a consultants. Upgrade, that means you are upgrading your SAP to an higher level. Integration and testing. Integration means you are combining, you are integrating your modules with, or if you are not completely go live into SAP, you have different non-SAP systems. So integrate with that systems and do the testings, and finally you have solution. Okay. So this is a slide which explains the financial module. So in this financial accounting, you have accounts payable, general ledger, accounts receivable, profit center accounting, controlling. Again in controlling, you have profit center, cost center. Now, see, you can see this financial and controlling is totally different. As we all know that financial accounting is for the legal requirement and legal reporting, whereas controlling is for management purpose. Now, if we are talking about real time, so again, real time FI and CO needs to get communicated. Data should be flowing from FI to CO to FI as well, as same as other modules. So in SAP, CO is also treated as a separate module, and there is a cost flow which makes from controlling to finance as well. There is special purpose ledgers like reconciliation ledgers, custom ledgers. So these are all for the legal and reporting purposes. Now coming to basic modules, what finance and controlling does. So SAP FI is an accountable for tracking the flow of financial data across the organization in a controlled manner and integrating all the information for effective strategic decision making. Activities involved in SAP FI are creation of organization structure, because there is no structure without, no company can work without an organization structure. In any organization, you have like CEO, then you have a team board of directors, then you have the managers who will be reporting to board of directors, then you have different staff working under that managers. So same way for any ERP, you need to have an organization structure wherein company. Okay, now here you can read company, company codes, business area, functional area. Now what is the difference between this? So company is, suppose if I give an example, Reliance is a company. Okay, so I can define Reliance as a company. And company code. Now under Reliance, there are different branches, or you can say different line of businesses what Reliance is having. Again, in the different countries. So you need to define each line of business as a company code. because as per financial accounting requirement, you need to present balance sheet of each and every company code, each and every line of business, each and every country specific business or industry what you're running, a company you're running. So that will be coming under company codes. Now for a company like Reliance Communication. So for Reliance Communication also there is a different area, different cities it is working, different areas it is working. So whatever area which is earning a profit for you, so you can have a reporting for that area. Suppose I say if a company is Reliance, company code is Reliance Communication, and then business area will be Gujarat, Maharashtra. Again in the Gujarat you have a lot of cities, so you can have Ahmedabad, Surat, Baroda. So this kind of branches you can make, and you can have a micro reporting from each level. Even in, if I say in Baroda, there is different areas, right? And in different areas, if you are earning your business or you are earning profits, you can define that too as a business area, and you can have a separate balance sheet in SAP as per that business area. Again, this all will be real time, so you don't have to put so much of your pains or efforts. It will all be on your fingertips. Depends on the customization you do, depends on the technical developments you do, depends on the business processes they follow. So it all depends on the how the system is designed, planned and executed. Functional areas, what are the area of functions? Credit control, it controls automation. Like if you are giving credit to some customers, so you should not create a sales order once it is crossing credit limit. So you can define what are the credits for a customer. You can define the data of a customer. You have a customer master, you have vendor master, wherein you can put each and every details of your customers and vendors. Assignment of company codes to credit controls, that is something which is functionally what we define for a structure. Okay. Financial accounting global settings. So now what is global settings? So this global settings is to prepare a company in a software to be ready to use. So if a company is there, you have defined a company, you have defined its name, area, telephone, contact numbers and everything. Then what you need? You need fiscal year, posting periods, document types, posting keys. Now these are all SAP terms. If I talk in simple terms, it should have financial year, reporting year, monthly. If you do monthly reporting, you do quarterly reporting. So for all these things, you need the numbers in the system to identify what reporting I have to execute, how I need to tell system that what I need. So these are different terms used in SAP. Document types identifies the document, which kind of document, whether it's an invoice or it's a credit memo. Posting keys, again it identifies whether it's a debit or a credit. So all the things, whatever data flows from any of the module comes and sit into SAP FI, and it identifies the documents with the document type, whether it's an document, whether it's asset document, whether it's a sales document, with the different number in this. So whenever you post any invoice, you will get a specific number, you get a printed invoice. Again, the form will be designed as per the customer requirement, as per the choice of business, what you need, as per the financial requirement, as per the legal requirement, what are the text you need. Now these days you can see the QR codes which are getting printed on each and everything, right? So that things also can be printed on invoices. Again, that QR codes has some data or text to be printed under it, so which it has to be coded. So that all is done by technical team. Then we have general ledger. So for that, as we prepare books of accounts, we need chart of accounts. Now what is chart of accounts is nothing but our books for a company code, that is completely for a reporting purpose. We prepare accounts like cash account, bank account. So for preparing that books, we need a chart of accounts. Then we have different account groups, defining data transfer rules, creation of general ledger. Then we have taxation, very important in FI, tax configuration and creation of maintenance of house banks. We have accounts payable, again a separate branch in FI. We have accounts receivables, which takes care of vendor and customer master related finance attributes. Okay. Then we have asset accounting. And now one of the most important is FI integrates with SD and MM to pull the data from SD and from MM to FI so that the data and reports are in real time. What does SAP CO does? So SAP CO is again, as I explained, it's for management use, and it is a module that facilitates coordinating, monitoring, and optimizing all the processes in an organization. It controls the business flow in an organization. This module helps in analyzing the actual figures with the planned data and in planning business strategies. Two kinds of elements are managed in CO. One is cost elements, revenue elements. Now, these cost elements are purely SAP term. We do not have in financial concepts. The reason why cost elements are used are to make cost flow from CO to FI. Again, I'm telling it's from CO to FI and FI to CO. Because again, you need to make both the modules communicate so that your management again has the data whenever it requires it. This is for the management planning. What data? These elements are stored in FI module. Activities involved in SAP COs are cost element accounting, cost center accounting, activity-based accounting, internal orders, product cost controlling, profitability analysis, and profit center accounting. Now, in a broad term, you know what is cost center, you know what is activity-based accounting, you know what is internal order. These are basically cost objects which accumulates the cost of a project, whether it's a small or big or whether it's a going on. We have project systems as well, which is a workbench structure, which is a major object which is used for long-term projects, like for an example, building of a highway. If an infrastructure company is building a highway and it incurs a lot of cost till the highway is given to public for use, so where will the cost goes and who will be bearing it? So it will be accumulated in a WBS element and later on it will be settled to that project. Okay, so this is purely FI and CO terms. Then we have SAP sales and distribution and SAP materials management. SAP SD is one of the most important module in sales. It has a high level of integration complexity. SAP SD is used by organizations to support sales and distribution activities of product and services, starting from inquiry to order and then ending with delivery. So for this also, SAP had an SRM system, which will be used by your customers to book an order or your third parties to book an order. Once the order is there, once you have the product, if you, for example, if you go to any DMart or any supermarket, you have lot of products. Right? This is a very basic example. So whenever you take the product, when you go for billing, so when the code is scanned, you the person who is doing the billing will have the details of it. So that thing is handled by SRM system. It's okay. Now again, in our latest development, SRM is going to roll off, and we have SAP Ariba, which is coming in. So that will again be upgraded to a new module and a cloud module, which is Ariba. Then we have materials management. Material management deal with the movement of material via other modules like logistics, supply chain management, sales and delivery, warehouse management, production and planning. Now this is all related to SAP modules. What are the 4 major modules we use? HR has not included in here. The reason behind this is, again, SAP treats HR as a completely different module, wherein you book the expenses and the details of your employees. Like if you see, we have now time recording automated processes wherein when you do login or log off, system itself has a data. So that kind of thing, the shift of an employee, how many hours the employee is working, what are the routines of your work, like if you work in shifts, like major manufacturing industry has. So that kind of details also can be managed by SAP. Now SAP earlier was ECC. Now it has moved to SAP HANA. Right. So what is SAP HANA? SAP S4 HANA is not. I'll just give the introduction. The abbreviation HANA stands for High Performance Analytic Appliance. From very beginning, SAP developments of SAP HANA was focused on a product that could perform analysis at a high speed. SAP HANA also combines hardware and software. Now there are two major things in SAP HANA. First is the database, what the SAP used to use and what they are using right now, which is much more technically and made powerful, and which is now SAP has made their own database, and which is having more speed, more you can say ability to perform or analysis of data, storage of data, everything has been um, made more technological strong. So SAP HANA is nothing but a combination of hardware and a software. And now what is the need for HANA? So every technology has a lifeline. Means it's not a permanent. Earlier we used to have landline phones. Then we had mobile. Again in mobile we had simple phones. Then now we are having the smartphones. Again now watches are getting integrated with phone, and you have smart watches. Now again in mobile also you are getting more powerful cameras. So similar way for SAP also there was a need of integration, because the amount of business, the amount of data manufacturing big industries or big industrial giants, I will say, they use. So that is very huge, and they require more space, more speed, and more functionality day by day. So SAP ECC is an ERP system, and SAP HANA is the in-memory database designed to handle transactions and analytics. HANA was originally designed to be a data warehouse, but it has grown into all-in-one data platform that manages analytical, transactional, and application development. And now you see, there was a phone earlier we used to use as Nokia and all that. Now we have smartphone. Now in smartphones we have applications, apps that we use, and which is very easy to use, very easy to understand, and which is a very user friendly. Similarly, SAP also had bought into market. There are many things, and a concept of similar way, we call it as a tile. So they have an application of SAP Fiori, which defines tiles, which allows you to access SAP from even from your mobile. And they have also come up with a tile, like each module we have a tile. So whatever functionalities or whatever T codes, we call it T codes in SAP language, the functionality, the screen which comes to you for each and every transaction. Like if I say you want to post an invoice, so for invoice you have one T code, like FB60 for an example. So it will post a vendor invoice. If I say FB70, it will post a customer invoice. So for that, if I am using SAP Fiori, I can have a tile for this FB60. In that, user will be given only that accesses which are useful to him. He will not be given any other accesses. So in that way also, data security wise, data protection wise, SAP is one of the best software in the market in these days, because it protects. It has roles which is defined by SAP security. So again in technical term, if I go, SAP security is one of the module, SAP basis is one of the module, and there are major issues about movement of data. Like in any technical software or any ERP, you have different landscape. Like you have a development system, you have quality system, and then finally moving it to production. So when you move into production, so either you have to put business on hold, either you have to tell business to take a break, because you cannot transfer data in a live system. The reason behind it is it may hamper your ongoing functionalities. It may affect your ongoing reports, or on whatever your ongoing data, master data or functionalities or customization what we have done. It may hamper. So before moving to production, you have properly different clients, what we call in SAP terms, it's a development client, or it's a golden client, it has a quality client, it has pre-production. So in case if anything happens and if your data is destroyed, or it may have been changed, or it may have some other issue in the production system, you have a replica of that system which is called a pre-production system. So that things is very well taken care by SAP. So this is what brief intro and insight into SAP. So now as a students, what questions you have in mind? That are questions related to training, career opportunities, openings in the market, and which module has to be selected. So
If the students have any questions, can please go ahead with the question. And
yeah,
Sejal ma'am, Divyan sir had also joined the session, so he's also here with
okay.
us now.
Yeah, so
Laksh, if you have any question, you can please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
yeah, just go
Ma'am,
ahead.
I want to know what type of database SAP generally uses. Is it SQL
It's an
Server
SAP
or
database.
Oracle DB?
It's an SAP. SAP is completely a different ERP package. It has nothing to do with Oracle, and 99.9% it is SAP database only. And now recently, as per earlier communications, SAP ECC was going to be rolled out by 2025. But there are few industries which has opposed this decision of SAP, and SAP has also requested all the clients to move into SAP HANA. So current days, if I can say, so there are a lot of projects which are going for an upgrading or implementation of SAP S4 HANA. And S4 HANA, with S4 HANA, it's compulsory. If you want to use SAP S4 HANA, you need to go with SAP S4 database only.
Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank you, ma'am.
answering.
Yeah.
Any other question from students can please write in the chat box. And in the meanwhile, I just, on behalf of students, I have a question. It might help them. Ma'am, generally we have got these PGDM and MBA students. I mean, they look at everything from the career point of view.
Exactly.
So, if they want to get into this SAP, sorry, SAP,
No
that
problem.
I've learned it
I
in your
used to,
session.
yeah, I used to call SAP, but
So,
when we get into this, we learn a lot of
yes,
things.
yes.
Yeah.
So
See,
the first
first
thing
of
I'd
all,
learned was, yeah.
yeah, first of all, to answer with your question, this SAP is an ERP. So here, as a fresher, you don't have any openings. Very frankly, in the market, if you are experienced, then only SAP will be entertained. Like consulting firms, what they do take, it's not like they do not take freshers, but as a fresher, what they do is they recruit freshers and they then train trainees into SAP whole module, and they make them ready to work on SAP. So before that, it was always preferred by an organization that you have business knowledge, not an SAP knowledge, business knowledge. Business knowledge, I mean to say, is the processes of business. Like in broader term, if I define what is P2P cycle, P2P means procure to pay. Procure to pay. Now, as an FI student or PGDFM student, you are coming from FI or SD. If you are coming from marketing, you should know what is O2C cycle, that is sales cycle. And what are the different accounting entries you have. Being a financial student, you should know which process and where the financial entry needs to be triggered. What are the financial impacts of this? If you are going for a taxation, what are the basic taxation rules, right? So that basic things, it's very important. So if you are a fresher, I will request everyone to take some experience. If you want to enter into SAP, take some experience into business processes, learn some business related process, anything. Like if you can enter into FI controlling, sales, logistics, FSCM, there is different module for each and every business activity in SAP. So you can get into any of the module. But the thing is, you should know what are the business requirement, right? And also there are institutes which provide you training about SAPs, Right now, due to this pandemic, I guess classroom trainings are completely closed. But there are institutes like Delphi, Siemens, which are providing online trainings, and there are private training institutes. So if anyone is interested in any private coaching or trainings into SAP, they can contact me on over my email. I can definitely help them.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I mean, one thing is clear. I think students should be well informed that, as ma'am said, the career opportunities as a fresher, I think it is tough. But I think you can very well prepare yourself taking up a training course. But ma'am, I've just heard like these kind of trainings which Delphi and Siemens give are very costly. So do you suggest to go for these branded ones, or is it
No.
okay to um,
Now the things has changed. Like earlier, long back in 2007, when I did training, the cost of this certification was around 2.5 lakhs for 21 days. But now, as I mentioned, everything is moving on to cloud. So now even SAP has changed the training and certification cost, and they have done the patterns also. So now if anyone wants to do a certification, so they can directly contact SAP. They can add the course whatever they want, and they can pay online, and they can do the certification. So certification clearance can be made with around the cost is 40,000 in India. It includes 36,000 plus taxes, so which goes around 41,000, in which you get 6 trials. So either you can clear 1 certificate in 6 trials, or you can clear 6 certificates in 6 trials. That is up to you. But it won't provide any trainings. You have to do trainings by yourself, and there are some many courses which are available in YouTube, or that private coachings are also going. So I'll prefer, if you are really interested, first thing is to get some business knowledge. Secondly, prepare yourself with some YouTube videos or some private coaching which will cost you around 20 to 30,000, and then go for certification. Once you have certification, it will be easy, and it will open doors with big companies, big consulting companies. Because as a recruitment, when I go for freshers, so what we generally as a Cognizant do, we recruit freshers, CAs, or this PGDFM students. We take on board, and then we give 4 to 5 months continuous training plus hands-on. So this kind of programs we do.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Divyang, if you have anything, you can take over.
Divyang, you are not audible.
The purpose of okay, thank you, Sapna ma'am. I am Sejal. The purpose of arranging this webinar is like to have a scope idea about the SAP or SAP, what do you call it, and among all the specialization student, because generally it is a belief that only finance students going for SAP, but it is not like that. Even HR
No.
and other students are also has a functionality and usage of SAP. And many of my students are already now they want to learn this SAP because they are in a like a JB Motors and kind of a company where they are using SAP. So this is the agenda to organize this, so people student come to know about the scope, and definitely they also can have idea about the career opportunities after having this kind of a course. So I am sure that you have delivered the enough thing.
Yeah, and one more thing I would like to add is, don't be in a dilemma, or don't keep any such kind of things that SAP is an IT thing. Yeah, it is IT, but it's more of a functional. If you are a functional consultant, when you go for business consulting, when you talk with your client or user, they will first ask you, do you know this process? And then you need to give them solution. This is what the main consulting work is. So SAP FIMM SD is purely functional, plus your understanding of the business processes will give them solution, and then understanding that solution to make it work into SAP is more important. I am also an MBA finance, like my background is that. I did my course on the very first time. I didn't had any industrial experience, but to get into an industry, I joined IntelliGroup. So to get into Intelli Group, I had to learn all the business processes, and then only I went. But I faced a lot of issues initially when I used to go for business consulting calls. I slowly and then I learned it, and I got into all this experience. But from my experience of this 13 years of career, I advise you to read, so that you get a lot of knowledge of business processes and you can easily get into SAP.
I think the students who are listening to us or the viewers on FB, I think must have got a very clear idea about like how to get into this career option. And I think SAP is here to stay. There is no saturation in the coming future.
No.
It is going to grow.
Yes.
So that is one thing we should look at it as an opportunity. And as per Ms. Sejal has just said, like it is advisable for all the freshers to have all the knowledge, required knowledge of business processes and functions. And second, then you can go for some videos which are available on YouTube or free videos in these sites. And the third step can be you can go for some certification. Madam had clearly said like it there are few certification courses which range from 35 to 41,000, and then go for a higher branded version of certification. But one thing is required that the candidate or the student.
Simran,
Yes,
I would like to correct you. This
yes.
cost which I given is a certification cost of SAP itself. So there is no one above SAP, means no certification above SAP.
Yeah, okay, okay,
So
fine.
that cost which was earlier around 2.5 lakhs,
Yes,
now
that is what.
so now the SAP has bring a single platform. It's a cloud platform wherein you can do your certification and they give you 6 trials.
That is
Uh,
extremely beneficial for the
yes.
students, because that time we used to think that whether to invest that much of amount. Since it has dropped down so much, I think it is. I think you would also advise all these students,
Yes.
irrespective of the specialization they would take.
But take up only if you are really interested to go into
Interesting.
SAP. Else it will be a
Right.
waste of money.
Yes, yes, obviously. I mean, they need to have that thirst of getting into this SAP career option. Anything at the last, like you want to conclude your session with giving a piece of very useful information to our students, ma'am?
Yeah, just I would like to say, if any really interested student who is there with some experience and want to get into SAP, so they can contact me. I still have, I am into recruitment panel, as I told you earlier. So I can help them to get into organization, but only if they are having like really interested and ready to move in to SAP, then I can help. I can even help with some trainings. I have contact with the private trainers, and even I also do some trainings. So if anyone is really interested, they can contact me.
That is really great news for the students also. So I think you don't mind me sharing your email ID
Yeah, no, no.
with
I mean,
the
you can
interested
share.
students. Yeah, so that's something all the participants can just note it down, that Madam herself has been into the recruitment team of Cognizant, and she herself is a trainer and has collaborations with many training houses. So you can anytime get in touch with ma'am and seek her advice and for a career opportunity also. Ma'am, thank you. That was a really great gesture of yours for giving that opening to our students, ma'am. So can we wrap up the session? Divyang, sir, you would like to add on something here?
No, madam, but just to want to say thank you. Other things definitely will coordinate with Sejal.
Before we wrap up, any of the students, if at all they have questions, can there is a message in the chat box, so I'll definitely you can come back to me. I'll share her madam's email ID with you. So, ma'am, with your permission, can we wrap up the session?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much to all the participants who have joined us on Google Meet, and also all the participants on FB on behalf of Parul University and Faculty of Management Studies. And today, Dr. Bijal Zaveri, our Dean, FMS, she's a bit occupied. So otherwise, she would have been here and have a interaction with you. And thank you, Divyang sir, also for sharing her reference. And thank you, Sejal ma'am, again for sharing so much of valuable insights into this SAP. I would remember now. So I won't be calling it a SAP now. That is the
Correct,
first
correct.
thing I have learned
See,
today.
that is my reward that you learn and you will be
Yes,
pronouncing it as
credit goes to you.
correct.
So have
See, this
a
is the
nice
first
day.
impression,
Yeah.
you know, when we take interviews and when people come and say,
Yes.
SAP, I am a SAP professional, it's like you don't know SAP.
I know.
Because you won't say
Seriously.
this kind of if you are into this profession. So first
Yes.
impression when you say it SAP, it makes a
Yeah.
difference.
It
So
makes a
there
difference.
are few of these interview tips also.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the participants or who are listening to you can take a note of it that it's the first impression. Don't ever say SAP.
Yeah.
Okay. On this
Okay.
happy note, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks
good day.
everyone. Yeah. Bye bye.
The students can please head back to their classes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Devang, sir.